welcome back to another video in which I talk about a children's trading card game. This children's trading card game is Cardfight Vanguard overdress, and the children's trading cards I'll be talking about are from the first start deck, featuring Yuyu, Kondou, and semi-boring mechanic. So let me quickly give you the lowdown. Here is how this review is going to work. I'm basically going to go over the ride line featured in this start deck, then I'm going to go through all the subsequent support. I'm not going to bother talking about the triggers because it's rainbow triggers plus the generic over trigger, completely irrelevant. And the idea is I'm going to talk about one, how strong I think the start deck is kind of in isolation to an extent. How does it give a flavour of the game? And more importantly, which cards do I see actually getting used in the future? Are you going to be junking 90% of the start deck? Is it even worth buying? These are questions I will aim to answer. So, preamble out of the way, let's get started with Sunrise Egg. So this is the starter. It's a 6k power starter. When read upon, if you win second, draw a card. These are all the same. So that's probably the most consideration I'll be giving to any of these starters in any of these videos. Which, by the way, you should subscribe to see them more of. Anyway, grade 1, Blaze Maiden Reno. So, when this is rode upon by Blaze Maiden Rayu, so when you ride the grade 2, you can search your deck for a Trickstar, call it to rear circle, and shuffle your deck. So we'll talk about Trickstar in a little bit, but this is essentially a +1. It's a... Like, I know you have to ride, but like you were doing that anyway. So this is essentially just giving you a free +1. Searching your deck thinning, which is important. Taking a dead card out of your deck, so you're more likely to hit triggers. And then this also has during the battle this unit attacked. This unit gets +2k, so it's a 10k attacker. That's kind of worthless. So as far as I'm concerned, this utility in the main deck is pretty poor. Utility in the ride deck, obviously fantastic if you are playing the Trickstar variant of Dragon Empire. At the moment, Trickstar doesn't seem to be particularly useful outside of anything else, and you'd rather just run something synergistic with that archetype as far as that ride line goes. But yeah, this is a solid effect. It's just getting you a free Trickstar. The grade 2 is Blaze Maiden Rayu. When this is rode upon by the grade 3 Nirvana, you can Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Virena, the boy, and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So again, another +1 for a Soul Blast, which is essentially free. And continuous Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. During the battle, this unit attacked, it gets +2k. So there's 12k attacker. Again, 12k attacker is basically worthless. If this was 13k, then we'd be talking, but yeah, 12k does not aid you in any way in hitting magic numbers. You would need an 11k boost to be hitting magic numbers off of this. Yes, this will let you hit magic numbers with a 6k booster, but what 6k booster are you using, bro? Yeah, this is, again, pretty much worthless outside of the ride deck in my opinion, so really just seems like a thing you're going to include there and nowhere else. But as a ride deck skill, again, very good. It is just a hard plus. And the final piece of the ride deck, and your big boss monster, is Chakrabarti Divine Dragon Nirvana. I am a brown person that definitely just butchered that name, and I am mortified. So, once per turn, act on Vanguard. Discard a card from your hand, choose a grade 0 from your drop zone, call it to rear circle. Typically, this is going to be a Trickstar, but it could be other things. You can derive triggers from this, your over trigger. Not that there's a particularly great reason to do that just yet, as in this set anyway, you have no way of bouncing things and doing fancy plays like that. At the moment, this is basically just a Trickstar salvager in case something happens to your Trickstar. When this unit attacks, cost Counterblast 1, and this unit and all your units with the overdress ability get +10k until the end of the turn. And it's okay. So that seems really kind of whatever, but it's actually very strong. So units with the overdress ability, they don't need to be successfully having fulfilled that condition. They don't need to be overdressed. Simply having the ability is going to give them the 10k. So Chakrabarti essentially goes Counterblast 1, get Persona Ride benefits if you have the board. And it shouldn't be too difficult, certainly, if not this set, certainly following pretty much, it will be a short amount of time until basically all your attackers do have the overdress ability, and at that point, you know, this is just going to be live all the time. Now, personally, I don't really know, like, you know, personally, I think the Sunrise Egg is kind of so. Let's talk about the ride line. I think Reno and Ryu are great cards. You know, these are going to plus you. This is all good. Uh, if I'm honest, I'm not entirely seeing a reason to bother with Sunrise Egg. Personally, I would be tempted to instead use a Trickstar as my starter, Soul Blast it with Ryu, and then when I ride, and then I can use my Act as Chakrabarti to discard some random crap card like a draw trigger or something that I'm not needing, and revive my Trickstar. Speaking of Trickstar, actually, yeah. Well, speaking of Trickstar, let's just for context get what that does. So this is just a 5k grade 0 continuous on rear. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effect. So that's quite nice. It's not immune. Anything that doesn't like choose, so just blanket things like, for example, retire all things in a column. I'm pretty sure gets around this. So that's not fantastic. But you know, it's something. It's something. So going back to the ride line, I think that makes more sense than really bothering with Sunrise Egg. I don't know, like, you know, because 50% of the time Sunrise Egg is going to be doing nothing, whereas if you do what I just suggested, then 100% of the time you are going to be able to have a second Trickstar to just get out, which can be quite nice. Is that worth it? I don't know. I haven't tested the format rigorously enough yet, but I think that could be something that's worth doing. But essentially that first skill is really just to get back your Trickstars, and the second skill is really, really strong. So I think in terms of, is this ride line worth it? Yeah. But I think it's a very weak ride line outside of the ride deck. It doesn't, like, the rear skills are not really valuable at all. And it very much just feels like something you're going to include as your consistency engine to ensure that you're getting something up and running and applying pressure from word go. How are you applying that pressure? Well, the first tool is going to be your Virina, who we just spoke about, who's searched by your Ryu. So this has overdressed Trickstar. You basically put it on top, and then you've overdressed. Again, you do not need to have successfully overdressed to get that 10k buff. Auto on rear, when this is in the overdress state and it attacks a Vanguard, this gets 10k until the end of that battle. So now you see this can get pretty crazy. Then Soul Blast 2, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. That kind of whatever. That can be nice, but I don't think that's the sort of the big reason you're playing this card. The big reason you're playing this card is you overdress it on top of a Trickstar, and then you swing with this in the front row. It buffs itself to 20k, then it gets the 10k buff from Nirvana, which puts it to 30k. If you've just Persona Road as well, then it goes up to 40k. Slap an 8k booster behind this. This is 48k effortlessly, 38k with even less effort. You don't even, like, you just, by existing, like, your deck automatically, by existing, completes this combo for you. So, you know, that's really good. I would say that this is a very, very strong card. Staple 4 of, yeah, very key part of the deck. Even if you don't overdress, it's still going to be hitting numbers. It just won't get the additional 10k from itself. So yeah, very powerful card, and really good artwork, and the border looking hella clean. Let's go through the remaining support pieces in the deck. Here we've got Fire/Dragon Inferno Sword, which is a 15k attacker. Total garbage. You are removing this from the deck immediately. 8k vanilla, also total garbage. We'll be removing the deck immediately. You got your Perfect Guard. This will be staying in at 4, obviously. And finally, we have our order, which is Sunburst Evolution. So this costs Counterblast 1, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. And then you can choose a Virina from Virina, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, from your drop, and put it into your hand. So this is nice in salvaging something. It replaces itself, and then you just get that sort of Counterblast 1 to buff something by 5k, which is going to be ripping an additional card out of your opponent's hand unless they PG, so it's not like that's sort of unwanted. And again, this can help you get that really devastating field setup where if you get, you know, it's not hard to imagine having 2 overdressed Fire Rhinos set up, Persona Ride, flip the Counterblast to buff your board, and suddenly, you know, you are swinging 48 on both rears, which is, you know, with 0 triggers. So yeah, pretty scary. So in isolate, okay, so as I said at the start, does this give a good flavour for Vanguard? Yeah, I would say this is pretty representative of how it feels to play Vanguard. I think the deck is, of course, very basic, very easy to understand. As you can see, I've pretty much explained every nuance available in the start deck, and we are, to be fair, it's been 10 minutes. Thanks, I guess the algorithm will go brr. But yeah. How much of this deck do I see seeing use? That's a little more unfortunate. I think you're only going to be... I don't even know if you're going to be playing the grade 0. I will try out the Trickstar thing. Maybe that extra card is worth it, but I don't know. Also seems like I have to play one less brick in my main deck, as just drawing the Trickstar is going to feel pretty bad. But anyway. Yeah, that's the grade 0. The grade 1, I feel like you're only going to run at 1 in the right deck. The grade 2, I feel like you're only going to run at 1 in the right deck. You probably are going to 4 of Nirvana, because Persona Writing is going to be very, very valuable for this deck. You're going to probably play 4 of Virina. Trickstar, again, you're going to be playing at least 2 to 3 copies, maybe 4. Sunburst Evolution, you'll probably play at 2 to 3 copies. It is specifically this Virina, not any others, so it's a little less versatile. You may not play this at all. Is it specifically this one? It might not be okay. If it's specifically this Virina, you might not play this very high copies at all. If it's any Virina, then this will probably be like pretty stable, because you'll be able to toolbox your drop for any of the good ones. Just get back whichever one's applicable for the situation, because we have some more. Let me know in the comments which one it is. I'm actually not 100% sure. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, but that being said, I think this is absolutely the foundation for a very solid deck based on this. Unfortunately, you are going to be throwing out more than half the deck, which does suck. But I think overall the power level is pretty good. This is a strong start deck. Set 1 strengthens it, makes it very, very solid. One of the top tier decks, in my opinion, in Set 1 format, is going to be based on this. So I'm pretty happy with it. That's it for this video. If you guys found it useful and informative, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be doing reviews for all of the other start decks, as well as the full nation support in the main sets and videos as well. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, subscribe. I also do videos on Gate Ruler, which I think is an amazing card game. If you don't know what that is, then you should head over to my channel and watch my What's Gate Ruler video. I put a lot of effort into it, and I think it's pretty good. But that's it. I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully. See you then. Cheers.